Hello. How are you all doing? I hope you are all okay. A few more days and then we will all be back together at school, which is fantastic. I can't wait to see you all. Now then, today we are going to make some donut muffins. So if you like donuts, this is a great recipe for you, and it's one that we do in the oven, so we don't need a deep fat fryer, which is how you normally cook donuts. Okay, so I've got my oven on at, mine's just slightly above 180. It says 190 degrees, but I've got a fan oven, so I'm just turning mine down a little bit. I don't want them to burn, but just have a look. 180 should be fine, maybe 190. Yeah, so I have got here a muffin tray, and this is a recipe where we don't want to use paper cases. You'll see why at the end when they come out of the oven. There is another thing that we do. Okay, we don't want paper cases. However, if we just put our mixture into this muffin tin without putting melted butter round each little one, they will stick dreadfully. So I have got some melted butter in a bowl, and I've got a pastry brush. You can use a piece of kitchen roll as long as your butter's not really hot. Let it cool first. So you don't need all these special bits of equipment. Okay, so I have brushed all my little compartments with melted butter. Okay, so I'm just going to set that to one side for a second. And we'll run through our ingredients. We have got, just to double check, we've got some flour, we've got some caster sugar. Now, I've got golden caster sugar here, but if you want just ordinary plain caster sugar, that's absolutely fine. And if you're really stuck, just granulated sugar will be fine. Okay, don't worry about it. And in here, I've got some bicarbonate of soda. Now, I've doubled my recipe again because I love baking and I love giving my baking things to people, so my family and my friends. So I never just make the kind of single recipe, I always double or triple. So if it looks like I've got an awful lot, that is why. Okay, in a jug here, I've got some, should be natural yoghurt. Now, I didn't have any natural yoghurt in today, so I am using Greek yoghurt, and I'm going to see if it still works. That will be interesting. I quite like doing that sometimes when I'm baking. So I've got some Greek yoghurt. I have my eggs in here, some vanilla paste. I've got quite a lot of melted butter in there, but don't forget I'm doing double the recipe. And then I'm going to do a filling in my donut muffins, and I'm going to use raspberry jam. I have also used in the past strawberry jam, or jam that I've made. It's really delicious. Today I'm going to try, just as an experiment, some homemade lemon curd, because I'd be curious to see what that will be like in the middle of our donut muffins. And the other one I thought of was Nutella. I thought Nutella might work quite nicely. Now, the only thing you need to remember is do not put too much in. The recipe states just a teaspoon, because when that gets very hot, the jam will get very hot inside, and we don't want it spilling out of the middle or the sides of our little muffin. Okay, so Nutella, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that could go in the middle. Let me know if you can think of something. I can't think off the top of my head. But jam, Nutella, lemon curd, not bad starter for this recipe. Okay, I've got my bowl, and into my bowl I'm going to place my flour, my sugar, bicarbonate of soda. Okay, I'm just going to give that a stir around, okay? Now I've got this special whisk. You don't need one of these. I really like it. You can use a metal spoon is probably the best, I find, or a wooden spoon. You don't need any mixers today. Okay, so I'm just going to mix that together. Ready for when we put the other ingredients in. Okay, it's nicely mixed. Fantastic. Then, let me set that to one side so you can see what I'm doing. I've got my measured yoghurt in this big jug here. And what I need to do is I need to measure, and I never put this in a bowl and add it like I do with all my other things, because I just lose lots of this lovely vanilla paste. So you will only need one, unless you're doubling. I'm doing 2. Now, if you haven't got the vanilla paste, don't worry, you can leave it out. You could put vanilla essence in or vanilla extract. Okay, there we go. So that's in there. Then I've got my eggs in here. I'm just going to give my eggs a little whisk first. Now this bowl is quite full, so I could have a problem doing this. Let me just have a look. It won't matter because it's all going to get mixed in there. So if you haven't got a little whisk, you can use a fork. Okay, now don't forget, if I'm going too fast, pop me on pause. Took a bit longer than I thought. I'm just being careful so as not to lose all my egg over the side of the bowl. Maybe you could have done with a bigger bowl. Okay, so that's nicely whisked together. I'm going to pop the eggs into the yogurt and vanilla. Get every last little bit in there. And then I'm going to give this a mix. Okay. And see if this Greek yogurt works the same as natural yogurt. I'll have to let you know. Oh, somebody's at my door. I'm hoping one of my boys will go and see who it is. I think it's just a delivery. There we go. So that's nicely mixed in there. I'm going to bring back my flour and sugar mixture here. And I've got, they just had to join in, didn't they? I have got my melted butter here. So I'm going to add into the dry mixture the melted butter and the yogurt and eggs. Okay, now we need to be quite swift. We don't want to be mixing it for ages and ages because it's a muffin mixture. Okay. Oh dear. Oh, I think that's the first time I've been interrupted by those two pesky dogs. Okay, are we ready? So, pour our lovely, oh, it smells so nice, our lovely yogurt mixture with the eggs and all that lovely vanilla. I want to get every last little bit into my bowl. There we go. And then my melted yogurt, my melted butter. I've been completely thrown, haven't I? There we go. I'm just going to mix this together quite swiftly, but just make sure that all your flour is mixed in. We don't want any little pockets. of flour. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that if there's bits of flour floating in there, it stays in that state in your cake when it comes out of the oven, which is no good. So I'm just checking now that I've not got any pockets of flour. Oh. Right. I think we're good to go. Okay, so that didn't take long, did it? Easy peasy. All these lovely baking recipes that are not tricky at all. And I know we're doing something sweet again this week. Okay, so I've got my muffin tin. Now, we are going to add, it's tricky for you to know when you've not done this before, but basically we're going to add 2/3 of the mixture in the bottom of our tin. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of jam, and then we're going to put another 1/3 of the mixture on the top of our muffin and just cover the jam. Now, it's not always easy when you've not done the recipe before, but don't worry about it. I will show you here roughly what I'm doing. So I've got a spoon here. Okay, I'm going to pop that in there. It's quite a thick mixture. That's about 1 spoon. Another spoon. That'd be a bit too much, that actually. Slightly less. So I just want to show you what I've done. Yeah, might have done a bit too much in the first one. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So that's what it should look like now. Now I'm going to get my jam. Not a huge amount, just a teaspoon. Okay, it's not like heaped or anything. And I just pop that in the middle, on top of the mixture. I'm just going to do 3, and then I'll finish them while you're finishing yours. There we go. I'm also going to leave some plain, because some of my family do not like the fillings. And then just slightly less, just going to go on the top. And show you what I do. Not nearly as much goes on the top. And then I will show you. Okay, so can you see I've got the bottom layer, I've got my jam layer, not too much remember, and then I've got a smaller amount on top. But at the moment, that's about to come out. At the moment, I'm not going to put it in the oven like this because I need to cover my jam slightly. So I've just got the back of a teaspoon. Need a little bit more. I've overfilled this one a little bit. Let me have a little look. This one might work. A tiny bit more. I think my yoghurt has made the mixture feel a bit thicker than the natural yoghurt that I would usually use. That's interesting. So it's a little bit tricky. You just have to be patient. But you definitely don't want the same amount on the top as the bottom. I'll put a tiny bit more in here. Look at that. It is taking a little bit of time. Okay. So I've just covered over now the jam. Okay, now then, when I've finished, I will put them in the oven for about 16 minutes. Just remember to keep an eye on them. They should rise quite nicely, but with my yoghurt, not too sure. When we come back, when our donut muffins have cooked, we need to have a bowl ready with the other part of our caster sugar, and I'll show you what to do then. Okay. My kitchen smells scrumptious. Okay, now I've got my muffins out. They've risen really well, so I'm really pleased. Let me come and see if I can show you. As the next part, you do need to be quite careful because these can get very hot, especially if any jam has oozed out. Now, I have got jam that's oozed out, but I overfilled at the beginning. Do you remember those first two? Mixture felt very different with this Greek yogurt rather than the natural yogurt, but I think I've got away with it. I think it's okay. So, get them out of the oven, pop them on a surface that's safe for you to put a very hot tin on, and then we leave it for 5 minutes. So I set my timer for 5 minutes, and then we need to do this bit quite quickly because what we're going to do is we're going to coat our donut muffins with sugar. I know, very naughty. We need to do that while they're hot. Now then, sometimes the jam does leak out on the side. You don't need to worry, that's perfectly normal. So while it's hot, I'm going to put it in my bowl of sugar and I'm going to sprinkle the sugar, turn it around, mix it around, sprinkle the sugar on the top. And you must do this while it's still warm, otherwise the sugar just literally just pours straight off. And there is my first one. My lemon ones smell delicious. They smell really nice. Again, it's try to ooze out the side. There we go. But they need to be warm. Not enough to burn your fingers, although as I said before, the jam that's oozed out, that really can burn your fingers, so please be careful. And I'm just about to show you this finished one, and I'll finish the others in a second. Ready? That look good? Okay. I'll finish the rest and I'll see you in a second. Just remembered one top tip. If you have got a non-stick muffin tray, you really shouldn't use metal. It can really damage it and it takes the coating off. I've got a silicone little baby spatula and I just go round, let me see if I can do it now. It's a little bit hot. I just go round the edge here, round the edge. It can sometimes, just move that, can just sometimes separate where the jam wants to ooze out. I just lift it out and pop it in my sugar. Okay, so go round the edge and they should just lift out. Okay. So here we have our donut muffins. I really hope you've enjoyed making them today. I think your family might be quite pleased if they've got a sweet tooth as well. So we've got our jam donut muffins here. And we've got our lemon curd ones, which look absolutely fine. So I'll be doing those again. I've not done those before. And then for my fussy boys who don't like the jam in the middle, I've got a big tray of just completely plain ones. So they come out just as well. They look just as delicious with all that sugar on the outside. And there you have it. Okay. I hope we can do this again soon. Let me know how you get on. Okay, bye-bye.